Alright, what's up everybody? Week 2, part 2, recap. Let's go ahead and get back to the games. We're going to do the last game in the West region, and that is Reapers versus Heavy Whales. Heavy Whales got himself a big victory to start off the season, first win of the year. Reapers lost his first game of the season. For Heavy Whales, Peyton Manning was just Peyton Manning, 31.45 points. I mean, that's another guy. You talk about Drew Brees and Peyton Manning, just pound for pound, week in and week out, consistency. That's what you look for from the quarterback position, consistently high points, and that's what you're getting out of him. Larry Johnson got him 11.9 points. He only had 78 yards rushing, but probably got a little involved with the passing game. Marion Barber had himself a ball game, got over 100 yards and a touchdown. The only thing, though, is that he got hurt and more than likely isn't going to play this week. Santonio Holmes didn't quite play as well as he did the previous week, still down 10.3. Brandon Marshall really just hasn't taken off this season with Kyle Orton and all the changes out there in Denver. Just really isn't looking like he's going to be able to do what he did last year. Jason Witten, pretty consistent, got himself 11.3 points and a touchdown. John Carlson, he started the double tight ends, which you don't see all the time, but based on Carlson's output last weekend, you thought it might work out for him. But, I mean, you know, he still won, got him 6.6 points. Jason Elam got him 4 points. And the Cowboys defense didn't get him any points. So, you know, that should, you know, be a little something to put the league on notice. You know, he got 0 points from his defense and still put up over 100 points. So, that's an impressive week by Heavy Whales. Reapers, you know, he came out, Matt Ryan, solid quarterback. You know, I think he had over 20 points last week. Got 21.3 this week. Guys like Thomas Jones, Steve Slayton just really hasn't taken off this year. I mean, he was somebody that, you know, to go along with that high-powered Houston Texans offense, you would think would just take off, and he just really hasn't hit his stride this year. Jericho Cotchery got him 8.7. Greg Jennings, this is probably the biggest surprise out of the whole week. Greg Jennings got him 0 points. Now, he was targeted about 5 times, but just didn't catch a pass, and Aaron Rodgers was still able to throw for about 200 yards, so that might be a little worrisome for him. He started guys like Isaac Bruce, got him 35 yards. Kellen Winslow got him 19 points. Ryan Longwell 10. Giants defense 13, but again, just not enough. You know, too much of a letdown from guys like Greg Jennings and Steve Slayton over for him to really have a chance there. So a big win for Heavy Whales, and but I'm sure Reapers will be back for more next week. Let's just go ahead and do the game of the week right here. And so, you know, obviously it was a high-scoring game. Real American Gangsters versus yours truly. You know, what can I say? You know, Real American Gangsters, when you got a guy that puts up 58.4 points, he runs for 197 yards, and 3 touchdowns, and has a receiving touchdown and another 87 yards. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to even have a chance. But I'm proud of the fact that I at least had a chance to put up 150 points. But you know, Real American Gangsters just really came out there. He had Matt Hasselbeck. Matt Hasselbeck actually got knocked out of the game, only got him 6 points. But Ronnie Brown put up 27.6 on Monday Night Football. Chris Johnson, monster week. I'm sure you all have already heard about it. About 200 yards rushing, another 87 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns. Just probably the best fantasy game I think I've ever seen in the 3 years that I've been playing fantasy football. Leon Washington only 5.6. Andre Johnson benefited from Matt Schaub's monster week, 32.9. Roddy White playing pretty consistent with another touchdown. Vasante Shenko, 1 catch, 1 yard, and a touchdown. So you get 6.1 points for that. Nick Folk, 8 points. Packers defense 15. So outside of his quarterback, he had monster weeks out of guys like, you know, Chris Johnson, Ronnie Brown, and Andre Johnson. You put those 3 guys together, and I think that he would probably beat every other team in the league this week. In terms of HotSizzle, my squad, you know, I put Jason Campbell in there looking for a little bit more consistency at the quarterback position, and you know, he got me 13.9 points. Couldn't really throw a touchdown, but you know, that's alright. I'll probably put Cutler back in there next week. Frank Gore, monster week, absolutely monster week. Ran for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. But you know, I'm excited about that, and you might say, you know, it would be nice to get a win out of that, and obviously it would, but you know, I'm looking for guys like Matt Forte to finally show up. He's only got me 7.2 points. Ray Rice, you know, I was thinking he'd get a little bit more carries, but Willis McGahee seems like he's taking a lot of those carries. So only got me 10.2. Hushmanzada is going to be hurt with the Hasselbeck injury. Deshaun Jackson had himself a bit of a ball game. Had a big 71-yard touchdown catch. Got me 19.6 points. and my big time tight end Dallas Clark for 32.3 points on Monday Night Football. Hopefully you all had a chance to check that out. And obviously, you know, it wasn't enough to get me to win because on the other end Ronnie Brown was making plays, but I was excited to see that, and I think that with Anthony Gonzalez being out, that Dallas Clark will probably have some more weeks, you know, definitely in the 20-point range. Jeff Reed missed some field goals. I watched that game. It was pathetic. Bears defense got me 12 points. So, you know, overall, it was a great week. You know, a great week in terms of output from players right there. Definitely the game of the week. But, you know, when you're in that much of a hole and guys are putting up 60 points on you as individual players, it's tough to win. So, you know, I was happy to be a part of that game. Definitely would have liked to win. But, hey, you feel good knowing that your team has the ability to put up 150 points in any given week. Okay, and then we're going to do, last but not least, we're going to go ahead and do the other game in the East region, and that is Best Around, aka Chuck Norris versus I Will Crush Chris. And I Will Crush Chris, as of today, is the only undefeated team left in the league. So that is definitely a title to hold on to. Be excited about. Put up 104.6 points. Started Trent Edwards at 21.9 points, and you know it was a good call because Kurt Warner on his bench only got him 20.08. So put in Trent Edwards, got Willis McGahee off of waivers, put up 21 points. Cedric Benson, you talk about a sleeper. Cedric Benson, I could have sworn the dude sucked, but apparently, you know, he's having himself some ball games. Ran for over 140 yards against the Packers defense. Randy Moss had an off week, only 2.4. Larry Fitzgerald did too. Calvin Johnson had 14.7 points, but you might even expect more out of him. Dustin Keller 8.2. Mason Crosby 7. Titans defense only 2 points. So, I mean, I Will Crush Chris when he's having a down week from some of his stud players like Randy Moss, Larry Fitzgerald. The Titans defense, he still puts up over 100 points. That's something to keep the league on notice about. That could be huge for him. Best Around Chuck Norris, you know, just really didn't get the output. I mean, with Donovan McNabb going out, he had to start Kyle Orton. Didn't really work out for him. Well, actually, I take that back. It did. He had a 17.15 coming from Kyle Orton. That's Thunder from Down Under calling. We'll take that call in a minute. Brandon Jacobs really didn't do much. Maurice Jones-Drew still kind of struggling to get going. Nate Burleson 4.6. Lewis Murphy, rookie receiver out of Florida, 2.6 points. Not sure about starting that one, Chuck. Percy Harvin had another touchdown. Greg Olson, 4.1 points. Robbie Gould 6, Jets 8. You know, he put guys like Mike Bell, 15.5 points on his bench. Ocho Cinco, 15.1 on his bench. Dwayne Bowe, 13.6 on his bench. I mean, not to say his optimum was only 101, so it wasn't going to be I Will Crush Chris, but you got to question those coaching decisions. But, you know, everybody to each his own. He's got a method to his madness, so we'll see if that coaching can help him out next week. Certainly helped him in week 1 when he got that first win. So that's Ruby Sundays. That's the games of the week. Be excited to see how week 3 turns out. Yes, I will get my first win, and dang, this tape has gone too long. Alright, Ruby Sundays.